Hey, today we are going to answer the age-old question when it comes to virtual assistants. Do virtual assistants come pre-trained on everything they need to know, or are you going to have to train them on every single little thing? Let's find out. Hey guys, Justin Nelson here, owner and CEO of Sphere Rocket Virtual Assistants. Most of you guys know that my main job is to educate the general public business owners on what it's like to have virtual assistants. Today we are covering what it's like when someone first gets their virtual assistant. The question we always get after placing several thousand virtual assistants with companies across the United States in all sectors, the question we always get is, does a virtual assistant come pre-trained, or do I have to train them on everything? Now here's the thing, there's a mental block because the virtual assistants we're placing are from overseas. They are from the Philippines, which obviously allows us to take advantage of a currency arbitrage, as we call it. If you don't know what that means, just check out our currency arbitrage video. But what it is a lot of times people, because the virtual assistants are overseas, we don't understand their education levels, their fluency in English. And so a lot of these questions come to mind, and they're very fair questions because you've maybe never hired a virtual assistant before. So today we're gonna cover a few different pillars that you can expect when you hire your first virtual assistant. So if you hire your first virtual assistant, or should I say when you hire your first virtual assistant, the number one thing you have to figure out is, what are you willing to pay? So let me give you an example. At Sphere Rocket, the average placement we had in 2022 was about $4.50 an hour. So that means the average virtual assistant that I found in place with an employer cost about $4.50 an hour. Now, right now in the economy, that's equivalent to about a $48,000 a year salary in the United States. And so no matter your industry, you can kind of compare it to what would someone in the United States that comes in at $48,000 a year have skill-wise? What would their previous experience look like? What would their college resume look like? What would all these different things look like for $48,000 a year? And so for some people, you can immediately think of that. And so at $48,000 a year, let's use real estate as an example. If you're a real estate agent and you're trying to hire a transaction coordinator, let's say at $48,000 a year, you might find someone with a few years of relevant industry experience, probably not 10, 15, 20 years by any means, but at $48,000, you're probably looking possibly college educated, might be their first time being a transaction coordinator. So you're kind of on that beginner to intermediate level of experience when you're paying $48,000 a year. It's an entry level administration job. Now, let's say that in the United States, you were willing to pay the big bucks, right? You were willing to pay, I want experience, I don't want to train as much, I don't want to do all these different things, and I want to lessen my load a little bit. You could obviously go out and hire a transaction coordinator at $80,000, right? And at $80,000, what type of transaction coordinator would you get, or type of lead admin would you get? And so when you look at $80,000, you're probably getting someone with 5 to 10 years experience in that administrative field. You're looking at someone that's probably built systems, maybe even led other admin on the team. And so the same thing comes to the virtual assistant world when we're recruiting from the Philippines, is if you're willing to spend $4 an hour, you're probably going to have someone a little bit newer, a little bit less industry experience, versus if you were to maybe spend $8 an hour, you're going to have someone with more industry experience, more tenure, a little bit more managerial experience, and so on. And so here's the thing, there's pros and cons to both. Personally, I have over 100 virtual assistants that work in my real estate team, that work for Sphere Rocket, that work for many of the different companies I own. And personally, I love to hire virtual assistants at that $4 an hour because I like them to not come with bad habits. I don't love long tenure in corporate America or corporate Philippines. I like the person that has several years of experience, and is very coachable. And so for me, I just found that at the lower end of the pay scale, without being too low, right? Without being right out of high school or minimum wage or anything along those lines, we found that for me, that's the way our organization works best. Now, that works best for me now because I have several virtual assistants that can train my new hires, right? So I'm able to use my organization to train new people, and because the burden of training is not as much as it used to be. When I first got started using virtual assistants, I was willing to spend $6, $7, $8 an hour to find those virtual assistants that had managerial experience, had years of experience in the industry, to not only teach me new things, but also teach new virtual assistants that I would bring on into the future. And so the question is if we circle back around to the start of the video, do virtual assistants come trained on what I need them to know, or do I have to train them on it all? The answer really depends, right? Depends on the dollar per hour that you're willing to spend. It also depends on the complexity of your business, right? I could give you my best video editor, I could give you my best marketing manager, and I could put them in your business, and while they have years of experience running SphereRocket, that it's an 8-figure company, it doesn't mean that you're gonna have to not be able to train them, or you can just skip that process. And so usually you just have to have the expectation that until you have a management team, until you have several virtual assistants that understand your corporation, understand your operations, and that they can train them, a lot of the training is going to be in your lap. Right now, a lot of SphereRocket's customers, that are in different industries that we support, obviously use our coaches and can kind of shortcut it, right? That's a great little minor plug for SphereRocket there. But when it comes to any virtual assistants, no matter how you get your virtual assistant, whether your virtual assistant's foreign or in the US, just know that until you have a team of people that can train them for you, a lot of the training is going to be on you. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Now, here's the key thing. Get through it. Get through that rough time of having to train and spend some extra time away from your family, because in the end, it's going to give you tenfold the amount of freedom once you get that leverage in place. And how do you get to a team of 3, 4, 5 virtual assistants that eventually, when you onboard new people, can train those people? You have to get through hire number 1. You have to get through hire number 2. You have to get through hire number 3. So, if you're watching this video right now and you're like, do I have to train my virtual assistant or do I not have to train them? That shouldn't be the mindset at all. The mindset should be, where is my business at today? What position do I need filled? And now it's time to go out and hunt, right? It's time to go out and recruit a virtual assistant that fits those needs. So as always, Justin Nelson, CEO of SphereRocket Virtual Assistants. If you guys are watching this video for the first time ever, you know that SphereRocket's a recruiting organization that can help you find, recruit, and semi-train your virtual assistants in the different industries that we support. So if you guys ever have any questions or need virtual assistants, we do always have special pricing running. Just check out the link right here below, schedule a time to check out what we do. If you're not ready for a virtual assistant quite yet, keep watching these videos. There is hundreds of videos for you to dig through to learn all things virtual assistants.